Football. Wildcats. Football. Wildcats. Football. Wildcats. Football.
I got it.
Football. Wildcats. Football. Wildcats. Football.
Welcome to the Married with Picks podcast, season 6, episode 14, week 14. So I went 7-3 last week, which is good, but it didn't feel good. And I assume you did similarly because I think you were on Seattle. I was on the fucking Vikings. But I do know one thing. I won our bet on the Monday night game. Patriots, Giants. So, we're on to...
Giants should have covered that game.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. Week 14. I have to admit, I don't love the schedule this week.
I don't either.
There
I don't
are
like it at all.
a lot of division games. But otherwise, I don't know. We do have 4 teams on bye. I guess this is the last week for bye weeks. Panthers, Patriots, Giants, 49ers. First game is Dolphins at Jets. Dolphins are 3-point favorites. This is a division game. These teams played back in week 4. The Dolphins won that game 27-21. The Dolphins have dominated this matchup historically over the last 5 seasons. The Jets only have 2 wins. Dolphins have won the last 3. If I asked you what Tyrod Taylor's ATS record in his last 8 starts is, what would you say?
7-1.
How do you know that?
I'm just guessing.
Really?
Yeah, I like them.
That was not a guess.
I totally guessed 7-1.
All right. That was right.
Is it right?
It is right. Tyrod Taylor is 7-1 against the spread in his last 8 starts. There's always a lot of talk about Tua in cold weather. I know it is cold here today, but I think it is going to go up into the 40s at least for Sunday. I'm going to take the points with the Jets. It's actually worked out the last few weeks. So why change now?
I mean, the key for me is you just said about the Dolphins winning 3 in a row. I mean, it's the freaking Dolphins. Do you know what I mean? They're going to win 4 games in this NFL 2025 NFL. They're going to win 4 games in a row. I don't think so.
You know, it's funny. When I read that off, I was thinking that I meant they won the last 3 matchups with the Jets. But yeah, that's what that meant. They won their last 3 games.
Yeah, I'm on a Tyrod Taylor bandwagon. And next week they got Garrett Wilson hopefully coming back. If he's going to come back at all, maybe it's going to be next week. I know it's when he's first eligible, but speaking about this game this week, I mean, the Jets are playing at home. Like you said, Dolphins are traveling up north. 60% of the money's on the Dolphins, and they're a 3-point favorite. I will take the home dog.
All right, next game is the Seahawks at the Falcons. Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites. This one is tough for me because the Seahawks have been pretty dominant. A lot of talk about like Sam Darnold didn't I guess have the stats last week, but I think they had a good game plan going against Flores because I think Seattle knew that Minnesota knew Sam Darnold. So they took a very safe approach. He didn't throw a single interception. So I don't give much credit to last week. And before that, they were pretty much scoring at will in some of these games. Now, generally, I do like to take the Falcons at home as a dog. But we do have Kirk Cousins at quarterback in this one. And so I'm leaning Seahawks because I think the Seahawks pass rush is going to be too much for Kirk Cousins at this point in his career. The Seahawks have played 3 road games in the last 4 weeks. So now they are traveling from the, what is that?
Northwest.
The northwest to the southeast. But I am because of the pressure on Cousins thing, I'm going to take the Seahawks. Little concerned that 77% of the bets and 76% of the money right now is also on the Seahawks, though.
Yeah, especially the fact that they're on the road. But
I don't think that hasn't really made a difference for them this year.
I can't, in good conscience, take the Falcons at all. They're just a horrible team right now. I'm not a big fan. I would take the Hawks, but I don't love it. I don't like giving up almost a touchdown with the Hawks on the road, but I think that's the right side.
All right, same side so far. Next game is the Saints at the Bucks. Bucks are 8.5-point favorites. This is a division game. These teams played back in Week 8. The Bucks won that game 23-3. Although I do think that score is somewhat deceiving. There was a defensive score and another turnover leading to a short field. The game was actually tied at halftime. I wrote that down wrong. The Bucks. Oh, no. In this matchup, the Saints only have one win since Baker became the quarterback for the Bucks. They did get Bucky Irving back last week, along with Chris Godwin. It just feels like too many points, though, for the Bucks. I mean, I would side with the Bucks. I just don't love the number. But I'm not going to take the Saints either.
Tyler Shuck, baby.
Yeah, so in the last game that they played, that was Spencer Rattler, but that was where Tyler Shuck took over. So
Tyler Shuck was 26 of 38 last week with 2 touchdowns versus Miami.
Yeah, I mean,
covered the spread.
Yeah,
within a touchdown.
But was it like garbage time? Like, that's what worries me with the number like above a touchdown, honestly.
Yeah, I just think as the Bucks continue to play, they're showing their head that they're not, they're really not that talented.
Yeah, and this is, probably the biggest number for the Bucks all season.
I mean, should they be 8.5 favorites on anybody?
And the Saints game back in Week 8 was the only time the Bucks covered since earlier in the season.
Listen, nobody likes the Saints. I mean, they're 2-8, right? But 2-10.
Yeah.
But
Done.
Saints are, I'll tell you, the Saints are 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 on the road versus Tampa. Did you know that?
No, but you know what I'm going to say to that.
Tampa's 1-5 in their last 6 against the spread.
Yeah, okay.
They're 1-6 their last 7 at home against the spread.
Okay, yeah.
Those are daunting.
Yeah,
1-5 last 6 against the spread. Last 1-6 last 7 at home against the spread. That's enough to make me take the Saints.
All right. I lean Bucks, but
82% of the money is on the Bucks in this matchup. Everybody is too heavy on the Bucks. I think Bucks win, Saints cover, call it a day.
Maybe. All right, next game is the Commanders at the Vikings. Vikings are 1.5-point favorites. The Vikings will be going back to J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. And I'm not 100% whether Jaden Daniels is going to play or not.
He is.
Well, it sounds like he was back at practice and he wants to play, but I'm not sure that the staff is going to let him play at this point.
Practice on Thursday.
It's a lost season for them. Did they really want to risk their... I've heard
There's too much season left.
A couple people on the radio making RG3 comparisons.
There's too much season left. The kid's got to get better. The kid's got to play. You can't. If it's not like 1 or 2 games left. Plus, 2 of those games are against the Eagles. I mean, they could definitely go and make some waves in the playoff race with 2 games left against the Eagles.
Can they? They're 3-9 on the season.
Well, not for them to get in, but for others, they could not.
Yeah, okay. So maybe they show up in those division
Cowboys
games.
aren't out of the division race. They just lost to Detroit.
But I have no play. I don't want anything to do with this game.
I like the Commanders because Jaden Daniels back. Minnesota's 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games. They're 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 at home. J.J. McCarthy's back. J.J. McCarthy's garbage. I don't know why people think that you're a great college quarterback doesn't necessarily translate. Heisman guy doesn't necessarily translate into an NFL quarterback, and I think that's what we're seeing here with J.J. McCarthy. And quite frankly, even if he was talented enough to be good in the NFL, he can't stay healthy enough to keep playing. So he'll be lucky to get out of this one alive. I'll take the Commanders.
All right, next game is the Colts at the Jaguars. Colts are 1.5-point favorites. This is also a division game, and this is one of those weird division things. Number one, the Colts only have 2 wins in this matchup going back to 2022, but the Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014. Now, Trevor Lawrence actually played a good game last week. I don't think he had any interceptions or turnovers. Daniel Jones is playing with the broken fibula, and I do think that is affecting his play. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the Jaguars in this one.
It's a 10-year span of the Colts going down there and not winning, but I think it all ends today. It all ends this week. I think the Colts get the win. They're both 8-4, sitting at the top of the division, right? The Colts are 3. They've lost 3 out of the last 4.
Yes.
But I think this is where the Colts start to get the speed, get their momentum back, heading into the playoffs with a couple of wins. It all starts here. They got Jacksonville twice before the season's over. So a lot of these divisions are seeing key matchups in battles to win the division, where the two teams that are battling for the division haven't played each other yet. And we're, what is this, week 14?
I'm assuming they do that on purpose.
No, they're definitely doing it on purpose, but they're doing it more so further and further back later into the season. The Eagles, they're going to play weird. Washington week 16 and 18.
But yeah, but it was weird this year because weren't there teams early on that played the second matchup like pretty early. Yeah.
Something like that.
All right, so we're on different sides of that one. Next game is the Steelers at the Ravens. Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. This is a similar situation here. Division game. Both teams are 6-6. So this would be for the lead in the division as well. Now, there was like a weird stat that even though they're in division, like the Steelers had not faced Lamar Jackson very much in the early history because he was either injured or it was a week 18, didn't matter type situation. Now, the Steelers had dominated this matchup early. It seemed that Tomlin knew how to defend Lamar Jackson, although the Steelers did lose both these matchups last year. Tomlin is 13-4 in this matchup versus the Ravens. But they did lose last year, both. Now, the Bills ran all over the Steelers last week. Enter Derrick Henry. I would hope that the coaching staff would take that approach, but last week, and they've done this once or twice before, it doesn't make any sense to me. Derrick Henry breaks off a 28-yard run to the end zone, and then he literally had the ball one more time, didn't touch it at all the entire second quarter. So I don't trust them to do that. Now, Lamar Jackson obviously he's been dealing with some injuries, but he was typically getting Wednesday practice off and then practicing on Thursday and Friday. He practiced limited on Wednesday and then did not practice on Thursday. I don't know. I didn't see anything today as to whether he practiced or not today. So just something to watch. I assume he's going to play. It seems like he is playing through injury because he hasn't looked wonderful in these games. But I am going to, it looks like he will play.
Aaron Rodgers?
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like he will play, and I'm going to take the Ravens.
I just think it's too many points here. It's 5.5 points.
Yeah, it's a division game.
I haven't seen like the Ravens at home, the old Ravens at home blowout. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, but the Steelers just look like crap.
I feel like the Ravens are on the downward spin. I mean, they've lost this last week. They won a handful of games before that. So we'll see. But Aaron Rodgers coming back. If they have anything left,
Aaron Rodgers
have to win this game.
Back last week.
Yeah, but he got dinged up and it wasn't clear if he was going to play this week.
Okay. All right, so you're on the Steelers then.
Yeah.
All right, next game is the Titans at the Browns. Browns are 3.5-point favorites. These are two shitty teams. Now, the Browns defense always seems to play better at home.
Real quick, going back to the Ravens game, the Ravens are 1-5 in their last 6 at home against the spread.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever remember the Ravens being that bad at home?
Well,
I don't know. It's just I'm disappointed because this should be a huge matchup. I mean, there's two teams that are tied for the division lead. Somebody's got to win this game, but you got Cincinnati just sitting back there waiting. All right, I'm staying with the Steelers.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. So where did I leave off here? Okay. So the question here is, do the Browns deserve to be 3.5-point favorites? And I feel like anytime
Sanders,
anytime we ask that question, The answer is ends up being no.
No.
So I've heard a lot of people all over the fucking Browns, and I can't do it. But I'm not going to take the Titans either, so I'm not touching this game. I don't understand why people put their money on these shitty ass matchups to begin with.
It's a bad matchup.
You can just double up on another game. Just don't bother with these shitty games.
I mean, I'm going to play it though.
Okay.
You got to play it. You
I don't
gotta take
have
the
to play
Titans. Got to take the Titans here.
Yeah, you can't.
There's 3.5. The Titans. The Browns are. Just think about it. You don't have to fall in love with the Titans.
No,
You
but
just
I
gotta know
took the
Browns are
Titans
favored
last
by
week.
more. They're favored,
And they put up
Shador
3
Sanders
points.
are favored by more than a field goal in a football game.
The Titans scored 3 points last week. Now they're going into Cleveland. It's going to be cold in Cleveland. Cleveland has a good defense, especially at home. Like, how can you even think that the Titans are going to score? I mean, this could be like maybe the under is the play. I have no idea.
3-0.
It could be. Like, it literally could
who's
be.
got 3 and who's got nothing when the line's 3.5.
Well, there you go.
Just
Well,
take the points.
no, it does matter.
Well, not if you take the points. That's my point.
Okay. All right. Next game is the Bengals at the Bills. Bills are 5.5 point favorites. So the Bengals got their big win last week over the Ravens when they got Joe Burrow back. Bills blew out the Steelers after losing to the Texans. Now, this game to me just feels like the first game that Flacco came in, right? Flacco came in, he got the win. And then the next week was like, you got to take the points with the Bengals, right? Like, that's easy. Take the points. Now it's Joe Burrow just came back. They blew out the Ravens last week. Now they're a 5.5 point underdog. You got to take the Bengals, right? And that means take the Bills. And that's what I'm doing.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Okay.
We're all on the
You and
opposite side on a lot of
70%?
these. Yeah, I mean, I just like the Bengals because there's too many points. It's 5.5 points. It's
And this
just a 3-point
5.5
game.
number, I'm telling you, man, anytime it's 5.5, there's something fishy going on.
Yeah, take the favorite. Does it usually take the favorite?
Well, I'll take
from those
again.
scenarios
Yeah, it
that
is.
you're talking about.
Yeah, I
Because I
think.
remember you talking about this last week, and
Well, last
it
week
was
it was
basically-
the 49ers were 5.5 point favorites. They won. The Dolphins, but who counts the Dolphins in anything?
they lost.
Yeah, they didn't cover. And
I had
then
both those games right.
the week before, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to dig through all the papers, but
I love the Bengals here.
well,
I think the
I know,
Bills
but
are
that's the whole
jerk-offs.
point. That's the whole point. Everybody loves the Bengals. Do
Bills
you
are
want to be
going
with
down.
everybody? Because I don't. Not when I'm betting
normally.
NFL games.
Not normally, but I think the it's no secret here why
It just
everybody's
feels
on the
exactly
Bengals.
like the Flacco situation. Then they lost the next week. It feels exactly the same. So
I don't know. Last week's Bengals game just felt all kinds of different.
did it? Did it feel different than the game where Flacco comes in like his first game? He's been with the team for 3 days and he throws the ball 16 times to Jamar Chase.
It looked like the defense had some life to it. Like, Joe's back. Let's go. Not that
But
the
they're-
defense is great or the defense is going to show up to play and keep the Bills out of the end
They're
zone,
not
right? But can
talented
they
though, and they don't
hold
have Trey
them?
Hendrickson, who's the best player, and they're not going to sack Josh Allen 8 times like the Texans did a couple weeks ago. Like, that's the only way you're going to beat the Bills is if you can get.
Joe Burrow had that look back.
He can't do it by himself. That's the bottom line.
Joe Burrow had that look back, everybody.
All right. Well, you put your
He
money
didn't
on
have
Joe
that look
Burrow.
last year.
All right.
He
that's
didn't
fine.
have that I'm going to take this ball and drive right down the fucking field on you look last year.
It feels like you're trying to convince yourself that the Bengals is the right side.
No, I'm
but
taking
you
the
know what I'm
points.
saying
I'm
makes
taking the
sense.
points. I know what you're saying makes sense, and it's probably a good spot for the Bills, especially after not looking great last week. But I'm going to take the Bengals. I just think the Bengals can't lose. The Bengals can't lose.
They can't, but that doesn't mean they're not going to.
I know.
How many teams can't lose? How many times have we said the Chiefs can't lose?
I kind of believe in the Bengals backdooring here, though, or at least making it close at the end of the season. So for that to happen, they've got to win this game. I'm talking about win the game, not even talking about. I mean, I went straight up against the spread.
I
last
agree
week.
with you. If it wasn't for the fact that I just have that feeling and the fact that that's where the money is going, I agree with you, but I think it's the wrong play.
What about people taking a money line?
In the NFL, this is the wrong play.
Not really. Plus 225 on the money line. I would take the Bengals in the money line too.
You know, I rarely do the money line on the dogs.
Too.
And like last week, like the Rams, like what would the money line on the freaking Panthers?
Yeah.
All right. So we're on different sides of that one. Next game is the Broncos at the Raiders. Broncos are 7.5-point favorites. This is a division game as well. These teams played back in week 10. You probably remember that was a Thursday night game. The final score was Denver 10, Raiders 7. So it was not the most exciting game. Denver did win both matchups last year by more than 10 points. Raiders did not seem to get any bump after the firing of Chip Kelly, so perhaps he is not to blame. Perhaps he was just the scapegoat. Denver hasn't exactly blown teams out, but they are a superior team. They have a good defense. Geno Smith has been under siege behind a horrible offensive line. I'd like to see this go down to 7, but I guess it won't because, and this is the other concerning feature, is that 79% of the bets and 79% of the money is on the Broncos. And perhaps I'm a little bitter because I took the Raiders last week and they stayed in it for a while and then they let the Chargers run away with it at the end. So it wasn't a cover. I just got to go Broncos. I can see the Raiders. I just can't pull the trigger again.
I remember the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
It was a
And the spread on that was higher.
tractor pull.
Yeah. That was a pretty high spread. I think it was like 9.5 or 10. And there was like no chance that was. I don't know what this means.
Oh, this is the Raiders, baby. This is Raiders music. The autumn wind is a Raider.
Okay, so you're taking the Raiders. You're
Listen,
all about the Raiders.
This is a division matchup.
It is a division matchup.
Gonna let it play in a little bit. This is a division matchup, and a lot like Week 10. I don't know if the Broncos have proven that they're there yet.
Yeah,
There's a lot of comeback games, playing the lines close.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
Yeah, I don't think they've covered a lot of these spreads where they're heavy favorites, but they have beat some good teams as underdogs.
All right, I'm gonna give you 3 reasons here. Right? 89% of the cash is on the Broncos. It's too much, too
It's
heavy.
not 89 when I looked; it was 79.
I got 89% of the cash is on the Broncos. All right. Denver's 3-13 against the spread in their last 16 games versus the Raiders. 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 on the road versus the Raiders. Take the Raiders and don't be scared. The autumn wind is a Raider.
All right, you have me reevaluating this. I'm not picking the Broncos officially.
Get more than a
to
touchdown,
think
baby.
this
Take it.
through more.
More than a touchdown at home, division matchup. It's like printing money. Raiders.
All right, what if it went below 7? Would you take the Broncos?
It's not going to go below 7.
But what if it did? It's just a question. It's a
6.5?
hypothetical. Yeah.
Yes, I would.
All right. All right. Next game.
I would take it like 5.5. I would still take the Raiders.
All right. Next game is the Bears at the Packers. Packers are 6.5-point favorites. This is a division game as well. And other than week 18 of last year, the Bears have not beaten the Packers since 2018. And going all the way back to 2013, they only have 2 total wins. Now, this is the matchup where Rodgers owned the Bears. Obviously, Rodgers is gone. I think my problem with the Bears here is I and a lot of people have been underestimating them, but they keep winning and covering. So last week, obviously, not to bring up a bad subject, but they dominated the Eagles on the ground specifically. But I feel like the minute I flip the switch and take the points with the Bears is when they lose. And apparently that's kind of the approach that everybody else is taking because 84% of the bets and 81% of the money is on the Bears. So I think I have to take the Packers here.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm going to say it that simple. The Bears.
I see you have nothing written down and you have the Packers
There's
circle.
a bunch of different reasons why the Bears won last week. They were ready to play. That was their Super Bowl. They were going against the Super Bowl defending champions. They had just got CJGJ onto the team, who I'm sure helped out with a couple of the tendencies and leans of the Eagles because they sure as hell played like it. And you had a couple other ex-Eagles on the Bears. So they were ready to fire it up, and I'm willing to look at that game as just an anomaly. But I think that this is a tough place for the Bears to come into play and try to expect them to beat the Packers. Remember, the Bears are actually leading the division right now. So the Packers are playing from behind.
They're 8-3-1.
Mindset is they're the underdogs coming in here. They know that they got to win if they want to try to win this division. So I'm looking the Packers' path to victory here. Look at least a double-digit win.
All right, same side of that one. Next game is the Rams at the Cardinals. Rams are 8.5-point favorites. This is a division game as well. Cardinals only have 3 wins in this matchup going back to 2016. McVay 7-1 against the spread, playing in Arizona. 12-4 versus Arizona overall. Rams obviously coming off the loss to the Panthers as a heavy favorite. So I definitely think the Rams will win this game. But I can't get past Sean McVay. This many points. Will he let him back in the game? But I don't really want to take the Cardinals again either. And especially like Marvin Harrison, what the hell is going on with that guy? Like he had one good game and then he has like his appendix out and now he's got a heel issue. They got a lot of injuries on the Cardinals. And I think just the way that the stuff that Sean McVay does is the things that the Cardinals are not good at defending. So I don't really want to take the Cardinals, but I don't really want to take the Rams at 8.5 either. And it is 77% of the bets. And what, I don't know, you have that screen up because I can't read my writing. I think it's 88% of the money was on
88% on the Rams.
On the Rams. So, and that's so funny because like last week the money was pretty even in a lot of games. Now this week it's like every single game it's shifted heavily in one direction. I don't know. This could be like a fucking bloodbath this week. That's
typically
for sure.
I see that and I like to go the other way, but I like the Rams in this situation. I just think that they're like the thing I can't get over. I mean, I'm looking at the division, right? And all 3 of those teams are the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers are jammed up at the top of the standings, right? 9-3, 9-3, 9-4. Niners are 9-4. Mm-hmm. And you have the Cardinals, the 4th team in that division at 3-9, right? So when the other two, they're playing the Rams, the Seahawks and the 49ers recently, over the last month, have played, around a month ago, played Arizona, in Arizona. 49ers won 41-22, and Seattle won 44-22. Very similarly played games. And now here's the third juggernaut of this division coming in to Arizona to play the Cardinals, and I see it unfolding very similarly. I don't think the line at 8.5 is really going to come into play. It should probably be about a 21-point victory for the Rams, if not more. I'm going to take the Rams. I think they're going to glide to the victory in this one.
All right. I mean, I guess I kind of agree with you. I
Typically, I think you
garbage time is what worries me.
Typically, that's weird.
That Seattle game, Sean McVay took his foot off the gas in a 1-score game. Like it was an 8-point game.
Yeah.
And I just can't get past that.
I just think that.
But it's normally I would love to take the Cardinals, but I don't. Here. I don't want to take the Cardinals this week. I took the Cardinals last week. I mean, they covered, but it wasn't pretty. So I can't take them. But
I worry about Jonathan Gannon's grip on that team as the coach as well. I think he's about to lose it.
Probably.
And it's not going to take much once they start getting down early on the Rams team, a division rival. For the Cardinals, who, by the way, have lost 4 in a row. Once they start getting beat, I don't think they have the heart or the dog back in them to fight back. They certainly as hell did not do that when the division rival Seahawks and 49ers came to town. As soon as they jumped up early.
I don't know. One of those games, I think it was closer than the final score would indicate.
No, I think they jumped out to big leads. Both of them. Early.
I think one of them, they were getting their way back in garbage time, and then there was like a defensive score or something, and that's why the final score is what it was. But regardless, all right. Next game is the Texans at the Chiefs. Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. I was kind of torn on this. I mean, the Texans' offense is not great, but their defense is pretty good, and the Chiefs have some offensive line injuries. So that could be the perfect setup for the Texans to kind of follow the blueprint of Todd Bowles, what the Eagles did in the Super Bowl, that type of thing. So with the hook, I think I'm actually going to take the Texans.
I'm the same place. It's a 3-point game.
Yeah. And their Kansas City's left tackle, Josh Simmons, has been placed on IR, so they will be without him this game.
Yeah, Chiefs are in trouble.
Well, I don't mind seeing the Chiefs lose, and I don't mind seeing the Chiefs not make the playoffs.
Houston's rounding into form. The rest of the team has been getting a lot better over the course of the last month, right?
Yeah.
And they finally got their quarterback, CJ Stroud, back. On the
offensive line, I guess.
Got the win last week, so.
All right, I'm going to do it. And surprisingly, 69% of the bets and 80% of the money is on the Texans, though. I don't know if I love that. This is probably
where the Chiefs kill them.
But I think it is like the difference between the 3 and the 3.5. I think it is. I think
this is the Sunday night game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the other thing is tough, man. Primetime Andy Reid. Who I think there's been some shanks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like the Texans are going to pull away.
There's been some shanks in his armor, haven't there? And the old Andy Reid adage is that, don't go against him on primetime games.
I don't know if it's a primetime thing. I thought it was a off the bye thing.
That's the thing too. Andy Reid's I think those are both things.
But I don't know. I guess like what worries me is the Texans are not going to pull away, right? So if it's going to be close in the fourth quarter, like. But hopefully it's a 3-point game.
What's crazy is that Houston has a better record than the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're 7-5. And they started the season, 4-1, I think. Or 1-4, sorry.
The Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta respect the heater the Texans are on. They're 4 in a row. They're coming in 4 in a row. I don't see any reason why it's going to stop this week.
All right. And then the final game of the week is the Monday night game.
Can you have a letdown real quick? Can you have a letdown? They just beat the Colts, right? Tough division matchup. They're the third place team, pulled themselves within one game of the division lead, where Indianapolis and the Jaguars are both tied atop that division. Is this a letdown week for them? Or are you just on they started 1-4? They're just kind of on that roll to the playoffs, knowing that, they started off slow. They don't have much leeway to lose games.
I don't know. I don't know that the Texans will win this game, but I do think it's probably a 3-point game. So at 3, I'd have to reconsider the Chiefs. But with the hook, I don't feel comfortable.
I agree with that assessment. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. All right. Final game of the week. Eagles at Chargers. Eagles are 2.5-point favorites. Obviously, the Eagles having some turmoil. It kind of feels like what year was that? 2 years ago.
23.
So, and you can talk more about this because injuries on the offensive line. Yes. And then the big guy in the middle of the defensive line. What's his name? The guy that spit on Dak Prescott. Yeah. Jalen Carter. So he is not going to be playing because he just had surgery on both shoulders.
Yeah. He's going to be sitting for a couple of weeks probably to get ready for the playoffs.
So, and then obviously on the other side.
Landon Dickerson's out on the offensive line.
Okay.
But
what about Lane Johnson?
Lane Johnson is the big one. He's been out for the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And he's still going to be out for this game.
Okay. Now, On the other side, we have Justin Herbert, who had surgery on his non-throwing hand on Monday and fully expects to play in this game. And they obviously have their offensive line injuries there without their two best players and have been for the past couple weeks. So to me, I would feel, and I've heard a lot of people taking the Chargers. Now, I don't know what happened with the Eagles defense last week because they didn't seem to play very well against the Bears. But to me, the Eagles defense versus the Chargers offensive line and a quarterback with an injured non-throwing hand is not a good matchup. So I would think that the Eagles would be the play.
I like the Eagles because I find it hard to believe that Herbert's even going to play in this game.
And honestly, his backup is Trey Lance, who I think started one game for the Cowboys, and it was not pretty.
No.
So,
I mean, he lost his job to Cooper Rush, when Dak got out last year. So I don't see. The only thing that worries me is that Harbaugh's the type of guy who would see that Jalen Carter's out in the middle and just continue to hand the ball off and run the ball between the tackles.
So, but I
think that's the way that you can beat the Eagles in this game. I worry about it. So I'm going to go Eagles. It's a Monday night.
And the money is not split on this one
Monday night.
as of right now, but I would keep an eye on that for sure.
Yeah. Listen, I'm beat up on the Eagles. I'm beat up. 2 losses in less than a week. Lots of turmoil, things coming out about Jalen Hurts not being a leader, not talking to anybody.
They were calling for his head on whatever day after the game. I know that.
Oh, it's a tough situation. I mean, they were calling for the offensive coordinator's head.
Well, I know, but
it's not his fault.
Jalen Hurts became the target, the clear target.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love the guy, but he doesn't seem to be a leader. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl MVP. No matter what, it's hard for me to... I see the holes. I see what everybody's talking about. But at the end of the day, he won a Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl MVP. Like, to me, it's as simple as I don't care about what he's done this season. He needs to, for the Eagles to make a move, he needs to start running the ball again. And if that's the plan, that, hey, they don't want to be too risky with him running early in the season because he does get nicked up, especially when you run him too much. And he doesn't seem to be like a smart slider to stay away from getting that hit. So it is risky to have him be a main focal point of your running attack from week to week. But we're in December now, right? And it's playoffs. And for them to be good, he has to run because you have to make the defense account for his running so that they keep another guy on him. Then they have to cover the rest of the field with 10, and that's where the passing game opens up for Hurts. When he can run, especially if you look at the playoffs last year, he had some serious runs, quarterback design runs, not just play breaking down. He drops back and then takes off. Quarterback design runs that led to scores or long touchdowns against the Rams. It was the first or second play of the game. He ran the ball 50 yards for a touchdown, right? Put them on their heels the entire game. The Eagles never looked back. You need that. You need the defense thinking about him running.
Okay, let's not get all long and drawn out on this final game here.
So the question is if they're going to allow him to run, it's now December. They need to get him to start running. The Chargers have no shot. But if they play this stupid coy offense, this non-dynamic, non-imaginative offense, and Harbaugh stays consistent with the running attack, which I think he might be forced to do if Herbert is going to be the quarterback, and they don't want him to be taking hits.
I could totally see you guys like targeting his hand too.
Anybody would. This is playoff football time now. I mean, these game wins mean a lot. So who knows? It's going to be a very interesting game.
I want Trey Lance. I really wanted Teddy Bridgewater last week too, man. I'm telling you.
I want Trey Lance. That's an easier win. I'll take the Eagles.
All right. That'll do it for us for week 14. If you're watching, like, subscribe, and we'll see you back here week 15. The season is flying by like they always do. Peace out.